What up? What up, y'all? What up? What up? Welcome to another, well, this is actually maybe like the third episode of the DFAM Roundtable. Today I have two guests with me. As you can see their name in the title. All right. We have DoorDash Dad. Say what's up, DoorDash Dad.
What's up?
Say what's up, Pedro.
What up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Okay. We got two of the gig economy's finest in the building. Okay, all right. So I'm not gonna take much longer to dive into this, y'all. Okay. So the title of this one is No Tip, No Trip Sending the Wrong Message? I know this campaign began to exist before, or it was created before, I want to say before the pandemic. But, you know, a lot of things took place where a lot of people were just not into tipping. And there was a lot of bad interactions between Dasher and customer and different places like the restaurants and just a lot of, even at one point, I believe that this was created because most Dashers were upset at the platform, DoorDash. They cut the pay and like, now we have a base pay of this. Oh my gosh, what the heck? So I want to hear, Derek, I already know how you feel about tipping. But just in case someone that's watching right now does not know how you feel about tipping, would you mind letting the audience know before we even go at it?
Okay. For those of you who don't know, I am a strong believer in tipping. And I'm not just talking about like just tipping, just throwing us a couple bucks. For me, it is, I mean, you do what you can. But so if you give $2 and that's all you could do, or, you know, then that's fine. My thing is the way that I was raised to be brought up that if you couldn't do it yourself, then you need to show appreciation for the people that do. So I was the type that my mom is like, you know, even if we went to a restaurant and the waiter was really doing a really horrendous job, whether it was an attitude or they were new on the job, we would still show some love. Now we let the person know, like, listen, you know, you might be having a bad day or this might be your first day. So, you know, maybe treat your customers a little better. Maybe do this, maybe do that. But
Okay.
At the end of the day, as I look fuzzy, at the end of the day, it was to show appreciation and know that behind that bad day or behind that new person working, they still had to make a living. And my thing was, if, you know, like pay it forward, right? So that's one dynamic. But at the same time, we live in a society now where it seems like it's getting easier to stay at home and do absolutely nothing. And if you don't want to come out then and get it yourself, then you need to show appreciation for the people that do. And that's where the tip comes in. Now, you have those people that can't get out. I understand that. But we have no way of knowing those individuals. So we can't tell the difference between Joe Blow, who just is being lazy or doesn't want to go out. It doesn't necessarily have to be that they're being lazy. Sometimes I don't want to do it, so I have somebody else do it. And in that is a tip for appreciation, going to the grocery store on a Sunday when the lines are all the way back, or going to get my food because there's 6 inches of snow. So that's what it is. It comes with the territory. There's nothing else. It simply comes with the territory. So if you're new and you don't know that, that's the way that I was raised. That's what I believe in. It's proper etiquette. It's just something that is automatic in my opinion.
Okay. Definitely appreciate you for sharing that. And Pedro, what's your take on tipping?
So for me, you know, I worked in restaurants for a long time, managed them. I did every job in a restaurant, right? So for me, tipping it's a matter of respect, but it's also, you know, it's the way society runs, unfortunately. Whether you agree or disagree, that's how it goes. And I believe when you go out to eat, you're doing something special. So as part of the culture of this country, you should tip if you get good service. And if you don't, you still show love, like Derek said. And then maybe you say something, or maybe you don't tip 20%, you tip 10%, or you leave what you can, you know. Tipping is a personal thing, you know. But for me, I am, you know, I'm coming from a background of working in a tipped environment for almost 18 years, and I can see what it does to a single mom that worked really hard, table runs her, they want extra ranch, they want drinks, they need napkins, $200 bill, and they get no tip. And that server has to tip the busboy out, tip the host out, and they go negative on that, and they just spent 2 hours on that table. I've seen it happen quite a few times. So I see how it affects the servers, the bartenders. So for me, I'm a no tip, no trip. You know, I equate the service industry as far as waiting tables. I look at it a little differently than what the food delivery stuff we do. Because I do think there are times when if you get bad service, you're justified in not leaving a tip because maybe they didn't do a good job, right? But as far as food delivery, I do believe in no tip, no trip. We're in our vehicles, we're waiting in lines, like Derek just said. We've all been there. You know, this is a luxury kind of thing. I believe that when we're ordering McDonald's at midnight, that's not an essential necessity. So, sorry, the dogs. So, like that, you know, you can make some pasta at home. You can make if you don't have money to tip, I don't think you got money to deliver DoorDash. That's my opinion.
Okay. All right. Now, the thing is, I do believe that, okay, like when I place an order, I should tip the person that is delivering the food, right? Or if I place an order at a restaurant, I should tip the person that is bringing the food to my table. So as far as tipping, I understand why it exists, especially in America. Where I'm from, tipping is not a thing. But I understand coming into the American culture, living in Florida, I understood the way that things are done here, and I understand why it's done the way that it is. All right. So at one point, I didn't even know that waiters and waitresses were receiving less than minimum wage. And when I learned that, that's when I said, okay, wow, you need more than less than minimum wage. Some people were, at the time, they were getting like, I believe, $5 and some change. And I think other places were getting like $4 and some change. But me hearing that and understanding, okay, that's not enough money per hour. That's all you're getting. You know, I was like, that's not cool at all. But even back then, I was thinking like, why is it my responsibility to tip you to get your pay above what the restaurant is paying you? Right now, obviously, coming from where I came from, we didn't know about this type of stuff, right? And I know this is an American thing, right? It's overseas, they don't tip, you know, and most of the island territories are owned by, like say Europe or the places that are not America, right? So if tipping is a major thing here, and I come into this culture and I understand it after coming here, okay, I understand. But now as gig workers, right? Now I'm looking at the no tip, no trip campaign, right? Now I understand why it exists, all right? But I feel like it has an issue. And the issue that I feel it has is when you tell someone no tip, no trip, I feel like it's delivering the wrong message to the driver, to the customer. I wouldn't say to the platform, but no tip, no trip should be directed at the platform. But it's sending the wrong message to a driver that is focused on the customer, that's saying, oh, if you did not tip, then I'm not doing your order. Just the same thing as when I did the Uber Eats video where it stated a driver accepted an order, then they sent a message saying no tip, no food delivery for you. I feel as independent contractors, we should be accepting what we see as the payout. We don't know how much the tip is up front. So hearing no tip, no trip, I feel like internally, I know if I see a no tip order, I'm not gonna take it. If I see an order that's not worth my time, right? I'm not gonna take it. But at the same time, on the flip side, there might be orders that are worth my time and the tip is very minimal or has zero a 0 tip or even a 1 cent tip. I've seen $12 on a Grubhub payout, but the tip was 1 cent. So no tip, no trip to me. And this is me, I'm the one that called y'all, right? I said, hey, I want to talk to y'all about this because no tip, no trip I feel like it's sending the wrong message to the customer and the driver. The driver receives it the way that they receive it, and then they take it out on the customer. But in the end, the customer is the one placing the order. If they don't place the order, we cannot get any offers. We won't get any offers. I understand the whole the logic behind the campaign, no tip, no trip, but I feel when we receive an offer, that's where we're supposed to make our decision. And if it does not have a tip, let's say if it's $10, I don't know if it has a tip or not, but if it says $10 and I accept it, I'm accepting $10. I'm not accepting it because whether it has a tip or not. My way of thinking is, hey, whoever needs to pay me, gonna pay me. That's how I look at it. So any of you want to, I guess, challenge me on this, or maybe you could help me see it a different way. But I understand what you said, Derek, and I understand what you said, Pedro. But I look at it as, hey, I'm getting paid. Whoever pays me, I don't care who it's coming from. I need my money. What's y'all thoughts?
You go, Derek.
No, this is your campaign. You definitely should go first.
I think I get it. I'm from the islands. I mean, I wasn't born in Puerto Rico, but in the island of Puerto Rico, my family, I got family there. It's not, tipping isn't a cultural thing in for Puerto Ricans either. It's definitely cultural. But even though you yourself just said you try not to take orders that don't have tips. So in a way, you still have a no tip, no trip. I think if we all could make it a certain way, we would rather have it be that way, right? For me, I also think it blocks certain issues. Typically, when you have issues on any platform from a customer that didn't tip you, they're going to be bad delivery instructions. They're going to say maybe they didn't get their food. They're going to want you to do extra things. So you're spending valuable time on somebody that didn't value your time. So for me, somebody that doesn't tip me isn't my customer. They're McDonald's customer because they paid McDonald's, but they didn't pay me. That makes sense. So for me, I value the time I have out there, and I'm not going to spend it if I can, because we've all delivered people food that didn't tip, but sometimes you get caught up, right? But 99.5% of the time I can tell if there's a tip on something, and I'm going to be patient, be selective. Even if there's a peak pay of $6, if an order comes through and it's $8.25, I know that that's no tip. I'm going to wait for the order to be $12, $13, $14 because that's a better offer. So I think there's certain, I preach no tip, no trip, because typically the issues as delivery drivers are going to run into are going to be from people that didn't tip you. I do believe that. I think there's a little bit of data to back that up as well. So.
Okay. Before I say anything else, Derek, you got something you want to chime in?
Yeah. So I agree. I hear what you're saying, UDM, about, okay, so one of the things that we don't know completely, especially with DoorDash, what we're going to get total may be higher. So we might take a risk on, let's say, $15 for 5 miles. We put a lot of stuff into that. Does it take us outside the zone? How much do we have to come back? Does it take us, is it 10 miles round trip? So that means we win a, $1.50 per mile or whatever it is. And then at the end of that, so it might have been worth taking, but there's no tip. For me, the situation that I have is it's just like Big Perm said, it's the principalities. That's what this is about. This is about showing appreciation for something you didn't have to do and somebody else did it for you. That's it. You didn't have to come out of your house, get into your car, drive, wait in the line. It doesn't matter. I understand what you're saying, UDM, about that should be the issue with DoorDash. And a lot of people don't know about, hey, busboys get a cut of the waitress's tips, and that, America, we get less than a certain wage because we work in this industry, because they incorporate the tips. I used to work at Ram's Horn. It was the same. Them waitresses would be attitudey sometimes because they had to split it with us. So my thing is, it just like you say, thank you. You're welcome. Have a nice day. This is for you allowing me to sit in my home and order through an app, to have you basically come serve me, because that's what a waitress is doing. You're having the experience, and these people are literally walking on hand and foot, and they're serving you on a platter, in most cases, your food. You are getting waited on. It's the same thing. If I'm waiting on you through my vehicle, I'm waiting in line for your food while you get to sit at home, play Nintendo, watch Eternals, do whatever you want to do while I go through what you didn't want to. So my thing is, I understand what you're saying, UDM, and we're going to do that sometimes. We're going to take something where it might not be a tip, but we don't know that till after. And sometimes it's, but you know what I do? I look at him. Well, I don't look at him because I don't do that, but I say in the back of my mind, okay, you got me, but it was still worth taking. But, I'm going to look at you metaphorically out the side of my eye. I'm not going to approach a customer. I've been tempted, but I've never done that. But it's like, okay, sometimes it is beneficial to do something like that. But at the same time, you'd be like, man, you could have did. Like, how you going to order $500 worth of food and you can't give me, or you give me $5? In some places, it's mandatory. Gratuity is included of a certain percent. So to me, it's like, we want this, but we gonna shortchange this person because so that's my thing, man. I'm very big on it. Very big. And now that I work in this industry, I go out of my way to give more. I make sure I give more. I might throw you in cash and tip more. So that's my thing. I do understand what you're saying, though, 100%.
Okay. Now, all three of us are on the screen. The thing is, at this time, at any time, I might say something. Whoa.
Okay. Yeah, that was me. I started up my car outside. That's my bad.
What kind of car you got, man?
No, that was me. That was my car.
Okay. All right. So the thing is, I feel like I understand both points, right? I understand both points, and we work for tips. All right. This is the culture in America. But I feel like most drivers are taking it out on the customers, and we need the customers to place orders. If they're not placing orders, then we won't receive the offers that we receive. If whether they're good customers, bad customers, we won't receive those orders if they decide that they're being mistreated by these Dashers or Uber Eats drivers or Grubhub drivers because they left a certain amount in a tip. Now, no tip, no trip. I know, Derek, you have said things like, if you have an $800 order, why are you leaving me $5 or something like that? You didn't say that verbatim, but it's like
right.
the principalities, right?
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
So if someone leaves or pays an $800 bill, if they have an $800 bill, from the way that I'm hearing it is they should at least pay me $80 because that's 10% minimum, right? At least, right? But they were giving me $5 for this $800 bill. So the thing is, I'm looking at it as, is no tip, no trip directed at the company for sending us this trash that ain't got a tip, or is directed at the customer for not tipping well enough? Because that customer did pay $800, but they left a tip of $5. That is not enough. But is that a bad thing? Because now it's a tip, but it's not they did not tip well after having a big bill. What's your take on that?
Okay, Pedro, let me get in here first, please. Appreciate it. Okay, so here's my thing. All right, what happens is you skim on the people. It's always been like that. If you go to a restaurant and it's gratuity included, automatic. You're very selective. Oh, you can't sit more than 5 people here because once we bring in number 6, we got to pay that automatic gratuity, right? So my thing is, if you are paying $800, you have to include the 10%. That's what you got to do. That's just the way that I'm raised. Now, you said both. Is it the customers or the company? I think it's both. For instance, I have had a very pleasant experience on Uber. It's almost like, and I don't mean to be offensive to anyone, it's almost like Uber has a different crowd than DoorDash. So I've never been tip baited. I can honestly say that I pay very close attention. Right now, I haven't been. I'm not going to say it's not going to come. I know it is. But the tip, it just seems like everybody is so giving on Uber. Where DoorDash, you have to actually, like, I've never used Uber, but you have to go into DoorDash. You have to, when you see something that says 0.00, it's disrespectful because this person had to go in and change it. Okay, change it. it's what DoorDash offers is, okay. What they offer to me is disrespectful. It really is, man. When I was in California, I placed an order for CVS. Guy goes in shopping. I got a video coming out about that, how DoorDash lies about, your order is getting ready, but they don't. You're actually shopping for it, but they don't tell the customer that. They act like CVS is doing it. So anyway, so we get to the point where I tipped the guy. It was $16-something. They wanted me to give him $3. Now I know what he's doing, and I'm like, okay, let me throw him 10. So I threw him 10, and then I threw him 10 in cash, and he was so grateful. But my thing is, DoorDash allows customers to tip like they do. Like, I don't even know how it goes on Uber because I don't use Uber. I haven't not used Uber yet. But to me, bro, it's like it falls on both. It seems like Uber for me is very slow, but it's worth it. When they come in, I mean, every now and then I'm hitting it like, man, are you crazy? Got a little DoorDash, reminiscence. But for the most part, Uber, even if it's an $8 tip or $8, I'm going like 2 miles. I'm like, okay, cool. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Because when I get there, the whole experience is different with Uber. So for me, I think the responsibility falls on both. Tony and DoorDash is about money. Who can get it to me? Who can make this delivery? So because of that, people flock to him first. We already saw the lady with the trash can. So for me, bro, it's like it falls on both. It really does. To me, Uber is almost like the difference is so huge that people are going to select DoorDash because they already know that they can do nothing. They can, the recommended tip is going to be $3. Like, it's disrespectful, bro. So I think it falls on both. But at the end of the day, the customer is the one that's having the delivery made. So they should feel, like it's their responsibility to tip. The only thing that the company could do is make it mandatory or something like that, which we'll probably never see. So I think it falls on both. But for me as a customer, I'm going to show my appreciation for you doing something I didn't want to. Here's a tip. And it's going to be substantial. So that's what it is for me. I think it falls on both. And I'll just leave it at that.
What about you, Pedro?
Too, this is a really big deal for me. Like this, I get really passionate talking about this, man. I really
That's good.
do.
There's nothing wrong with that, man.
I really do, man, because it's just, we live in a world where thank you is not a thing. You're welcome is not a thing. When you go into a restaurant, you ask somebody if they're having a nice day, and what's the order? I said hello to you. Take a second. So we live in it. I want it now, and I'm not going to show any appreciation for it. I'm from 1979, bro. So my mom and dad taught me how to say thank you, you're welcome, how to show appreciation for something that was done. So that's my thing, man. That's one of the reasons that this is such a big deal.
Okay, what about you, Pedro?
So I think, and I've talked about this a few times, for me, just to touch on the subtotal, right? I think when I see a subtotal of $100, for example, that's an indicator that it's probably going to be more than the $625 DoorDash is showing me. But honestly, I don't feel like, at least as delivery drivers, 9 times out of 10, we actually don't have to do any more work for that $100 order versus a $20 order, right? So I don't actually expect a customer. I think it's a given most of the time, but I don't expect them to tip me more because I'm actually doing the same amount of work for a $100 bag of food as a $20 bag of food, if that makes sense. So like, I just think a tip, I think if somebody tips me $5 and it's decent miles, I'm good with it. Anything more than that, it's just a bonus for me. But yeah, I think I anticipate more of a tip because the system's set up that way. A larger order, larger percentage, $100, probably going to get $15, $20 tip. That's just how it works. But I don't expect it necessarily, So like you said, $800, right? That's super unicorn, right? So if I'm delivering an $800 item, let's say I'm delivering a PS5, let's just say, right? And that's one bag, right? It's the same amount of work as I'm delivering a bag of chicken McNuggets. So I don't expect to get an $80 tip on that PS5, if that makes sense, right?
Right.
So I get it because that's just culturally, like we tip off percentage and that's how it is. But in food delivery, I think it's a little bit different because if you're talking a restaurant, $800 tab, that waitress worked a lot. Like she had to put the order in, take the order, a lot of refills, a lot of napkins, busting the table, split checks, way more work than I have to do to deliver an $800 work. It's way more work. So I look at that from a delivery standpoint, a little bit different, but I think, it is a matter of respect. Like I'm doing something for you. I think a lot of it is education. the consumer doesn't understand when they're on an Uber platform, like Derek just said, he doesn't know how it works on that end, but he does know how a consumer works on the DoorDash end, right? So like the consumers sometimes aren't informed, and they think the delivery fee, service fee, they think a lot of that's going to us, where it's only a couple dollars most of the time, right? And they don't understand that. So they're ordering a McDonald's order. If they went to get it themselves, it would be $10. But now if you order on the DoorDash app, it's actually like 20. So it's double the price. And they think we're getting more than that $2.25. So some people might not tip because they think I've already paid enough. And part of it's education. I think people are misinformed. You know, UDM, you said earlier, culturally, you know, your island, it's not a thing there. You come to America, then you find out it's a thing, and then you start to tip a little bit. So it's about giving information to the consumer and being transparent. I think the apps need to be a little bit more transparent, especially when it comes to mileage. I see 15, 20 miles, not often, but 15, 20 mile orders on DoorDash, and they're paying $8. That customer could have tipped $6. That's a good tip, right? $6 tip's a good tip, but because of the proximity of where they live, who's taking that? Nobody, right? So there needs to be more of a transparency from the apps to the consumer, so that they don't feel slighted, right? Because if I tip $6, but I'm far away and it takes an hour to get my food, I'm probably like, what's going on? I tipped $6. I tipped 20%. But the companies aren't transparent enough with the proximity, and they allow that order to go through. So I think we need to be careful of, you know, I do believe no tip, no trip, but like, I also believe we have to, as these companies, the main thing I want from them is I think they need to be more transparent to the customer, so that the customer can make a better informed decision when they're clicking that, you know, proceed to delivery kind of button deal. And I don't think they do that enough, because they don't look at it. Like, the company doesn't care if the driver gets tipped. They're getting their 30% from McDonald's, and that's all they care about. But as far as subtotals and stuff, like I can anticipate a tip, but I don't expect the customer to tip me. Like, I'm good with a $5 tip. If I get a $5 tip, I'm going a couple miles, I'll do those all day long. If I get more than that, that's just a bonus. But I mean, no tip, no trip is a big, like, like Derek is saying, it's a matter of respect. Like, you're sitting in your home, I'm doing something for you using my gas when gas is high, right? Inflation's high with food. We've all talked about it. And you're choosing to buy something you do not need. 99% of the orders placed on these apps are non-essential. So you made that choice. You got to tip your driver. I really believe that.
Okay. All right. So since everyone feels so strongly, and when I say everyone, I don't mean the audience. I mean between us three, right? Since we feel so strongly about the tip, right? Tipping, right? But a person would not take a $3 order on a $2 base pay, which technically it is a tip, and technically it is around the corner, but someone wouldn't take it because it's $3. So no tip, no trip. I feel it's some time-ish, if you understand what I mean. Anybody? Oh, I should just keep on talking?
Yeah, I know. No. I didn't know because, you know, so
no, I understand.
I completely get what you're saying. And okay, 2 miles, $2 base pay, $1. That I got you. I hear that, and I do agree. But sometimes, I don't know, man. Like I said, I agree with Pedro 100%. You know, PS5, you're not going to give me $80 of that unless you are rolling around in the dough. Like, that's how that works. But for me, that's almost disrespectful in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna throw you $1. Okay, so you get to sit at the crib in the house. Okay, it shows a level of appreciation. So you're getting. Although I think $2 base pay is kind of whack as well, especially from DoorDash, because that's all they throw at you. It's consistent. It doesn't matter how far you're going. A lot of times they're so all over the place.
I got to interrupt you there.
Go ahead.
That is not all they throw at you. Sometimes the base pay increases so much that they are paying 10 times more than what the tip is. I've seen a $19 base pay and a $4 tip
with DoorDash.
With DoorDash.
Okay, Okay, so that must be beyond the food delivery. That must be dash
Yeah,
marks.
I don't think that happens often. I think that's less than 1% of the orders.
Even if it's
Okay.
even if it's less than 1% of the order, it still happens. Like I've
Okay, so
gotten many orders, like say $5 base pay, but the tip is $2, $3, but the order was $7 or even $8. You know, I'm
okay.
accepting it, thinking it's a $2 base pay, and the customer
Yep.
tipped $5 or even $6. But in the
And it's
end,
the other way around.
it's the other way around. So they are increasing the pay. It's just what we see initially is we don't know until we're done with the order.
Yes.
So
Very
that's
true.
where I'm coming from. Is like I feel like with the no tip, no trip campaign, it causes the driver to feel a certain way about a certain order, and it's fine. I understand. Trust me, I understand. I work as well. I don't take no tip orders. I don't take nothing less than $5. I'm not saying I don't understand the importance of tipping. It's just the message. I feel like drivers, they're taking the no tip, no trip campaign and they're making it a negative thing. And it's kind of like getting them into arguments. I'm not saying this happened. I'm just saying, like, the way that drivers feel about no tip, no trip, it's kind of like they're pointing it at the customer, when I feel like it should be, hey, I'm getting $10 from the platform. If it's split between DoorDash and customer and it's only going 2 miles, $5 from the customer, $5 from DoorDash, fine. I have said in the video, in a previous video, I feel like, hey, if I'm doing you a favor, it's like gas money. What's the typical gas money that you give? The typical gas money is $5.
$5.
You're not giving me $1. Even if I'm going around the corner, I don't care. You're not giving me $1. You're not giving me $2. You're not giving me $3. No.
Right.
I want $5. Give me $5 gas money. So if I'm burning my gas and gas prices are going up, I want a minimum $5. But I'm not accepting an order and pointing at the customer and making the customer feel some type of way, or just thinking negatively towards the customer when they leave, like, say, something that is not worth the amount that is on the total bill, like the $800 for $5 tip, the $800 order for $5 tip. I took a $3,000 alcohol delivery. I got chewed up in the comment section when I said that $40 wasn't enough for the amount of work that I did. That was manual labor. Okay, there was people don't understand the difference between manual labor and, oh, yo, okay, $40. Yeah, that's good money, man, for the hour. What are you talking about? That was 21 cases of heavy stuff, boxes of liquor. And I had to carry it into this man's garage. That's manual labor. And $40 to me wasn't worth it. But to somebody else, it would be worth it because it's $40 for the hour, however long it took me to do that order. So what I'm saying is, I feel like the no tip, no trip thing, I'm not against tipping. I'm not against, we need tips for us to take these orders. It's just,
Can I ask y'all a question?
Go ahead.
Do you think, I've been thinking about this, I want to get y'all's perspective and people's in the chat as well. Okay. So let's say we take tipping out of the equation. Let's say there's no tipping, right? On the app, and everything is based on proximity, like mileage. Okay. So a lot of us, like, everybody's usually $1 minimum per mile. A lot of people like to be around $2, right? And that's probably kind of the average, I think, for a lot of us, right? We like to be $2. So let's say a restaurant is 5 miles away. The customer, their fee for that is $10. And you get $10, and DoorDash or Uber, they pay you that, they take their cut, whatever they're, but what if it's just the customer's not tipping, the customer is paying a fee based on mileage and proximity? Do you think that would work? Do you think, it takes the tipping thing out of it completely? We just see 5 miles, $10, 4 miles, $8. If it's like 1 mile, because I have a lot of trips that are 1 or 2 miles. Obviously, you're not going to take a $1 or $2 trip, but then maybe it's a minimum. It's $5. Do you think that would help alleviate some of the pressure from everybody and this, the stress of should I tip, should I not, should I take it? What if it's just $2 a mile based on proximity of restaurant to customer? Do you think that would work? Do you think we would make money? Do you think the businesses could still make money? Do you think DoorDash could be profitable? Do you think consumers would do that?
Go ahead, Derek.
I think I don't think so, man. I mean, because you got to remember DoorDash, and I know you just throwing this out there, but they do what's best for them. They don't even care about the customer. They really don't. We've seen that before. Walking out of restaurants with bags unsealed, telling me to get a drink, or handing me straws with no plastic on them. We are the ones that really care the most about the food. So for me, DoorDash, UDM said something. What did you say, man? It was something about I think I might have caught entitlement in the chat. If we're talking about entitlement, let's talk about the people that are entitled to sit at home and order through an app. You ever seen the movie WALL-E? That's what we're becoming. Everybody's up throwing trash on the earth because they are sitting at home, entitled to me, going to get their food. It doesn't necessarily have to be an $80 tip for $800 of food, but if you have $800 of food and you're going to a prime steakhouse, it could be a little bit of food. If you're going to Chipotle, it can be several boxes, okay?
Right. So
my thing is when we talk about entitlement, who's really entitled here? I'm just asking for you to be fair. We already know that I do think that the fight is with DoorDash and these companies. Because DoorDash is like, mostly, here's trash. I'm going to give you trash. It doesn't matter how far you're going. I'm going to give you trash. It doesn't even compare to the distance that you're driving. So they use the customer's tip to try to take some pressure off that, and it still doesn't add up. But I think that transparency would help, like we've been screaming about for the years we've been doing this, is transparency. But I know the game DoorDash is playing. DoorDash is, we're not going to show you because you're not going to take it, because we're going to allow the customer to use our platform for the fees and stuff like that. We're going to throw a tip in there, and they can take it out. So my thing is, it's all about, to me, we live in a society where people are waiting for you to do stuff for them. And that's what these apps are doing. They're allowing people to sit and do nothing and expect everything. So I don't expect you to tip me a bunch of money. But if you put $1 in there, that's almost disrespect. You seen the people that put in a cent. You had to go in and put a cent. They like, we gonna tip you, and this is it. So they're like smacking you in the face metaphorically. So I feel you, bro. I hear you, and I understand what you're saying. I get the no tip concept. What you're trying to say, UDM. I understand, but I think the fight, it's not necessarily a fight, but I think the issue is with both, because customers are super entitled. I'm not entitled. All I'm asking is for appreciation. If that appreciation is $2 or $3, I can dig it. But if you're gonna order, because let's be real, man. I'm from the hood, right? So back when I was younger, we had to be really selective of who we went out to eat with, because when it was time to tip, everybody got a little shaky. So let's get this on separate bills. That's what we do. So everybody, we act like we can't do math no more. We got to get separate bills because we don't want no issue, right? This person not gonna tip, this person might tip. So it's really, really strong for me, bro. It's to me, it's just about the principalities, and that's really all it is.
And I'm not against that, right?
I know.
I'm not against that. So, but before I ask you this question, Derek, I want to answer Pedro's question about the $2 per mile, $2 for $2 per mile. I guess an order comes in for, I think you said 4 miles for $8, 2 miles for $4, 3 miles for $6, and so on, right? Okay. I believe in that concept, but it would take more to, let's say, I feel like it would take just a little bit more than the mileage. I would need a fee for, like, say, per item. Like, say, if I now have to carry, I have an SUV, but like you said, Derek, you can either, $800 at a prime steakhouse can be a little bit of food or a lot of boxes at Chipotle. If I now have, let's say, if I got to go 20 miles, all right, you're going to pay me $2 a mile. That's $40. Okay, cool. But how much sugar honey iced tea I got to carry? Okay. How much stuff I got to carry? Okay, I got to carry, let's say, 200 plates of food. Okay. If it's 200 plates for food, I feel like I should get a fee, a certain amount per plate. You know what I'm saying? On top of the $40 for my trip. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna take $40 and I gotta carry 200 plates and I gotta set it all up or whatever that they want me to do with it. All right. Now, that's just to answer your question really quick, Pedro. But to go back to you, Derek, we speak about entitlement. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I hear drivers, I'm a person that owns up to my sugar honey iced tea. Okay. I have my entitled moments as well. But a lot of drivers do not point the finger back at themselves. They don't look in the mirror. The thing is, I've seen drivers literally treat restaurant employees like trash because of how much the order is. So now going back to no tip, no trip, should the restaurant owners or the employees be tipped by the drivers to show some appreciation to those restaurant employees as well? I know some drivers do it, but majority of us, I know for a fact, majority of us do not tip the restaurant employees that put together these 200 plates of food, or, you know, we don't split that total bill with them. We don't give them a percentage. So this no tip, no trip, should we feel bad about not tipping the people that actually bagged up the food that we're taking and getting paid off of? Yeah, we got gas. Yeah, we got maintenance. We got all this stuff that we got to factor in. But is it wrong to tip them as well, since we're talking about entitlement?
I've tipped people numerous times this year. I did a video on it. I'll do it this Thanksgiving. If it's a really big order, I did it last week. I gave the guy $10 because the tip was $50, and this restaurant did a lot of work. And I showed appreciation to that person that bagged it, and I gave him a $10 bill and said thank you. But I also do that because I'm showing appreciation, but I understand that the next time I go there, they're going to remember that, and they're going to give me premium service. Like, if I'm standing there next to another dasher, I understand that they're probably going to take care of me, and I'm going to keep it moving. So, you know, that's a $10 investment. It's an appreciation, but it's an investment because it's going to save me time later. If I go there the next time and 2 dashers are standing there, they're going to bag that order up for me first. I've done this in real time. So I think you're right, though, UDM. Like, yeah, 99.9% dashers aren't tipping employees, but I do it occasionally based on situations. I'll do it next week when I come back from vacation for a Thanksgiving thing. I do it at select restaurants and let them know, thank you. I know you guys work extra hard. They're not getting anything on that. Like a lot of these hostess and bartenders, it's extra work. They don't like doing it. They got to run a tablet. They're answering a phone. They're answering questions to the customer. They dispatch it on DoorDash and they get $0 extra. And it's a frustration. So sometimes I throw a $5 bill here and there, and it just it's a good nature. Like, hey, I am a dasher that does understand what you're going through, and it kind of puts them in a better mindset. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can't do that often, but I think sometimes it's important to do that.
I had a situation last night where a young man came to me and he was like, hey, would you like to donate to this organization? I had to tell the young man, hey, listen, I'm sorry, but I can't. The reason why I can't is because I literally donated about 9 different times that day. I'm like, listen, if I keep donating, I'm not going to have money to feed my kids. You know what I'm saying? I've donated so much in that one day yesterday. I'm like, come on now. I can't donate to everybody. You know, at the end of the day, like I see you're what you said, Pedro, you're kind of like, hey, if I'm going to like a place that, hey, they have a big order for me and whatnot, you want to take care of them a little bit. It helps you stand out from other dashers. But I also went into a restaurant called Brio. All right, BRIO. I don't know if you have it in your market, Derek or Pedro, but Brio is Brio is a high-end restaurant. I'm talking about maybe like the $4 signs. Okay,
yeah,
$4 signs. You've been there before. Okay, their food is expensive. Okay, this is like the prime steakhouse to you, Derek. All right, if they order, they could easily spend $200 for 3-4 meals. You know, just depends on what they order. Okay, now. The thing is, I literally saw an Uber Eats driver yelling at the staff, and they were severely understaffed, right? I felt so bad for them, okay? Now, the thing is, if they are being treated the way that they are by us, the drivers, right? And we are directing our attention to the platform, which it should be directed to, versus the customer that's actually paying for that order, I feel like we're targeting the wrong people. Now, I understand the reasoning or just like the proper etiquette, you know, the way you were brought up, right? Obviously, I just stated in the very beginning, I was not brought up that way, but I learned, okay? When I came into this culture in America, I learned the importance of it, and hearing how people were paid without a tip, I was like, what the hell is that? That is trash money, you know? So I get it, right? I totally get it, right? But at the end of the day, I just feel like no tip, no trip is directing the wrong energy at the wrong people. It's like at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do. Pedro, Derek, me, I feel if an offer comes in and it says $10, go on 1.5 miles, I'm not going to now look at that order and say, oh man, you only tipped me $1? Damn, you cheap. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be like, oh, okay, cool. $10 for 1 point. All right, cool. I'll do it. Not a problem. I'm not complaining. I took it because I felt like it was worth it to me, right? But the ones that I do find very disrespectful are the ones where they literally have to go in, hit custom tip, and say 0.1, 0.01, 1 cent tip. That is very disrespectful. I'd rather you leave me 0 tip versus a 1 cent tip. That's literally letting me know how you feel about me. You putting in 1 cent, and that's it. I don't want you 1 cent. I know I've heard of some drivers literally giving them the change from their car. You know, like, hey, you left me a 1 cent tip. You left me 25-cent tip, 50-cent tip, and I'm just giving it back to you, you know, or whatever, you know.
I love it.
So at the end of the day, I just feel like, you know, it's not wrong to feel like we need a tip, but no tip, no trip. I just feel like it's causing drivers to send the wrong message at the wrong people. If no tip, no trip should exist, I feel like it should be directed at the platform, not necessarily at the customers. A lot of customers don't understand, like you said earlier, Pedro, they don't understand how the platform works. If they're spending $100, they feeling like, oh, the service fee is this. Oh, that's going to the driver. A lot of them became new users of these platforms during the pandemic. A lot of them didn't even know how to use these platforms. Even restaurants, they were used to getting faxes. They weren't used to using a tablet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, everybody had to adapt or adjust to these new times that we're living in. But I just feel like, again, no tip, no trip is sending the wrong message to the driver. And that driver is sending the wrong message to the person that we need to make that transaction so we could get that order. I don't feel like we should be targeting the customers unless, at the end of the day, if a customer just treats you poorly, then hey, they just treat you bad, you know. But what I'm saying is, if I was a waiter and I know these customers, let's say you, Pedro, and Derek are my worst customers, right? I would probably be very reluctant to even wait, bring you your food. I will avoid you at all costs. You know what I'm saying? So in this way, I'm looking at it like, if an offer comes in and I'm seeing like, oh, this GPS shows like it's going to Pedro's house. Hell no, I ain't taking that damn order.
Yeah, I've done that. I have. Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that actually, UDM, that actually happens in restaurants. You guys know, like I said, I know I'm repetitive, but I've managed hundreds of like people, and I've seen thousands of situations. And we'd have regulars that come in, they weren't great tippers, and I'm telling you guys from experience, 99% of the time, those are the customers that are the most difficult. So my no tip, no trip also, it's not just like, it's not a matter of like pride or ego. It's like, I want to do business and make money with people that are kind and are going to be easy to drop offs and pickups. And most of the time, when somebody doesn't tip you, the delivery instructions aren't there. There's no date. There's no door code. They're going to make you wait. They're not ready for you. They're going to want extra ranch, and they're going to be texting you. Oh, I forgot to put the ranch. Can you ask me? They're going to want more from you.
Yeah.
But they're not valuing that transaction. So for me, no tip, no trip is like, hey, I'm going to make my money. I'm running like a business. My market's. I'm so lucky and honored to be in the St. Louis market. Like, this is a booming market. Okay, like I can make good money, right? So I know I can be patient. and then just value, like, you know what, that person didn't tip me. It's $10 going a mile, like you said, UDM, but I know that it's all peak pay. I know that, you know, or whatever. I'm going to wait literally 10 seconds to get a $13 offer for somebody that tipped me $3, and that's better for me. It's a better business decision. Plus, it makes a better drop off, because I know that's probably not going to, you know, it's going to be a little easier. You know what I'm saying? That's at least my experience. Everybody has to know their market and know the flows of the business and things like that. But
right.
in the restaurants that I've worked at and managed, when somebody said, Pedro, I need you to go to table 12. They didn't want this. They didn't like this. They didn't like this. They ate all their food, right? And then they said the steak wasn't good, but it's not on the plate anymore. Hold on. They ate everything. They ate everything. The pasta was cold, but it's gone. And then, you know, they're not tipping either. Like, the most difficult customers are the ones that do not tip, because it's they don't have the knowledge, education, and kindness. I believe it. I think most people that are in the chat right now, I got 123. I would venture to say 95% of those 123 people are people that actually tip because they understand it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that there's a kindness level that goes with it. And for me, I want to do business with people that are kind and that value my time and value that gas is $3.19 in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not bringing you your McDonald's if you can't throw me a couple bucks. I just literally refuse to do it.
But what's a couple bucks?
Couple, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's
$1.50, so $1.50. Would you trip on $1.50?
I've gotten tips I just got one this week. It was $1. I think the total, I'll take a $5 tip all day, a $5 trip. I'll take $5.25, go on a couple miles. I'll do it if it's slow. And I'll see $4.25 base pay dollar tip. I'm not mad at that. I took it at face value, right? It's fine with me because it only took me maybe 10 minutes to complete. It is what it is. That dollar tip was from a little old lady, like an older lady. Like, she doesn't, you know, she left me what she could afford to leave me. And to me, that is kind enough. I'm good with that. But the people that are, you know, want me to go to McDonald's, wait in that 30-minute line for them, get their food, bring it up 10 flights of stairs, and there's no tip, I can't rock with you. That's not the kind of person I want to do business with.
Now, okay. Derek, you're kind of quiet, man, but
that's because it's your show, bro. I gotta pace myself.
All right. So, for instance, right, let's say, all right, with food delivery, the food is prepared by the restaurant. We pick it up and then we go drop it off, right? There's not much we have to do. We just have to sit and wait for them to give us that bag, right? Okay. But I feel like tipping should exist in shopping. Like, for instance, like Instacart or even Shipped, right? When an Instacart offer comes in and it says 100 items and no tip, oh, hell no. I'm not doing that shopping. There's so much more work in that needs to be done by the shopper that then has to go and check it out, and then they have to go and deliver it and load it up by the person's door or wherever that the person wants them to unload it to. And I feel like there's so much more work in shopping. And if you see a 0 tip, I am 0, no tip, no trip. I'm with it in shopping. But when it comes down to food delivery, our process is so simple. It's like all we have to do is just wait. I've literally seen drivers come in after me. I've been waiting like 2 minutes, and they come in and they stick the phones in the people's faces, and it's like, hey, what's taking so long? What's taking so long? You know, and then they get into arguments with people, with the restaurant employees, which does not cause a decent relationship between, let's say, Dasher or Uber Eats driver or Grubhub driver and the restaurant. Have you ever, and I know you're probably going to agree with me on this too, but have you ever gone into a restaurant and they put us in a category because of the platform we're picking up from? They automatically feel like we're going to treat them a certain way because of the last driver.
Yeah.
Pedro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pedro.
Oh.
No, you already answered. I'm waiting on Pedro. You ever experienced that? They're treating you a certain way because even if you never treated them badly.
You know what? No, I think you're right. I see a lot. I think I'm in the 1% of, I don't usually have issues with a lot of staff. But I'm ultra I'm ultra nice. I kill them with kindness. Even if they're rude, like I kill them with kindness. Like I don't have a lot of issues nothing pops out at me. But I definitely see a lot of people coming in, putting their phone like that, being super rude, and I think that's from the restaurant employee standpoint, that gets annoying. I think a lot of us probably couldn't do their job without getting frustrated.
Right.
And I've done that job. It's not easy. You got phone ringing, you got a mask on, you're walking in, people want table. Like, there's a lot going on in restaurants, and I think we have to sometimes step back and realize what they do. Like, it's not easy. But I don't really get a lot of, maybe at fast food drive-thrus, I get the little attitude and they're, but when I walk into places, you got to, now mind you, I deal with a lot of the same restaurants and I dash 5 days a week. So they know me. I walk in, what up, Pedro? How you doing? Oh, what up, Mike? What up, Derek? What, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a really casual dashing for me.
Right.
Sometimes in fast food, but typically I don't run into a lot of that. But I see it, other dashers interactions with that same person. And they're just like, those dashers are just, some of them are, they're just mean. And they're very, very impatient. Me, I'm impatient, but I'll just keep it moving and unassign it.
Right.
I'll just unassign and won't say anything. I'll walk in, I see 20 dashers, Chipotle, nope, unassigned, keep it pushing. I don't even say anything to anybody. And I think that's what you should do. There's no reason to get mad at the employees. Most of the time, it's not going to be their fault that they're busy and behind because they're short-staffed. It's not on them. It's on the management. It's on the brand itself. It's not on that 16-year-old host that's just trying to do her job,
Okay.
Now, UDM, I wanted to say something, man, and it had to do with when you said you do shopping, you do more work. That is true, okay? But let's start from the very beginning, and I'll be brief. Okay. When you have to get out of your chair, that's something you have to do. You have to walk to your vehicle. That's something you have to do. You have to get in the car, start it up, drive to the location. That's something you have to do. You have to wait in line, place the order, and drive back home. So that is something that we're taking out. That's all those steps because the person doesn't want to move from that chair. They don't want to get up from that chair. So they open an app. Let me place an order. The only time they get up is when it says leave it door. They're walking from their chair to their door to get their food, back to their chair to eat and watch the football game. They don't want to leave the house. That right there is we're essentially taking their place from the time they walk out their door to the time they walk back in. So because of that, that's where I do agree that how you going to tip the same amount? You got to go in and shop for 17 items. You got to wait in line. You got to deal with, I agree with that 100%. But at the same time, we're allowing them to sit in their chair. They're choosing to sit in their chair, I should say. They're choosing to sit at home, not move anything but their fingers to order and walk from their chair to their door. There should be some appreciation because 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you could not do that. Now, if you were shopping for me, we tipped the lady $40 because she went to Meijer to pick up 7 items. You know why? Because I didn't feel like going. So I threw her $40. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, wow. I said, hey, you did something I didn't want to do. So there it is. If you don't, my thing is very simple, UDM.
You're a big baller, Derek, man. You be tipping heavy.
You don't want to do it. You get your butt up and you do it yourself. That is where I'm at. It's very simple.
So that's at minimum, it should be what?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You tip them $40 to do your shopping, but someone else might tip them $5 or $10. So at minimum, obviously you tipped because you understand you're appreciating the fact you're adding additional to that because you appreciate that they're doing you this favor. I get it. But what should be the minimum? Is it only based off of what we see? Like say 10%, 15, 20, 25, 18, whatever the percentage is. What should be that percentage in your opinion?
I think it should be more than 10 because 10 is almost nothing now. So, I mean, what is maybe 18, 20. I think even 15, we don't even do 15s anymore. So, I mean, that's tough for me because you don't know what the person's situation is. You don't know, but if you're 72 and you can't drive and you wanted some food, it's like, okay, I want to help you out as well. And I understand that you might be on a fixed income and there's not much you could do. But so I think it's kind of a give and take. But I don't know what the minimum should be. I mean, like maybe 18, 20, that's what I would do. But then I look at it and I'm like, okay, this person, my bill was $40. Like it wasn't, we didn't have an expensive bill that day. She got like 11 items. But I know at Meijer, you gonna be in line and the line is gonna go back into the clothes section. And I know that, you know what I'm saying? So that's hard for me to say, UDM. I can't really say what it should be. You know what I mean? But for me, I do base it off like the guy that went to CVS. I knew he had to shop and I gave him 10 on the app and then I gave him 10 in cash. And he was acting like he had never seen it before. So I do think you got to take in consideration what the person is doing. But at the same time, if I'm going to McDonald's and you pay $25 for some food and you throw me $5, that's cool. That's cool. Like, even if I have to drive 8 miles, I'm fine with that. I'm not like, oh, it should have been, half of what the food costs. So to say that there's a minimum, and I don't really know what that would be.
Okay. What about that video you did in the past? I did a video on her as well, but the woman that stood outside of that person's house that left them an $8 tip, and they were talking to them through the Ring camera.
I know where you're going.
Yeah.
I know where you're going with this. Go ahead. Yeah. I know where you're going.
When she approached the door, she only had one little bag in her hand. And she was complaining about an $8 tip. So that's what I'm saying. Like, she did them a favor. In her mind, she had to drive through traffic. She had to go through all this stuff. And it's like $8 was not enough. So that's why I'm asking you, the tip god, right?
No.
Okay. I'm asking you, hey, listen, what should the minimum be? Because you're tipping someone for, I think you said 11 items at CVS, $40. Oh, no. I think you said
that person went to Meijer.
That person went to Meijer. Okay, so you might have tipped them because you understand the traffic in the lines at Meijer. But CVS, you tipped them 10 in the app and 10 in cash for however many items it was. So what should the minimum be? Because someone that's sending someone to shop at CVS for them on DoorDash, there's not many items that we're getting, right? At least I've never gotten more than 10 items. Have y'all gotten more than 10 items? I've never gotten more than 10 items. So
no, that's on the high. Yeah, 10 items would be on the high.
Because they actually say they're going to keep it low, like so that would be high. Yeah,
okay, so $5 to a DoorDash shop and deliver would be sufficient, or not?
It all depends on the mileage. That's all. That's what we go by, guys.
No.
Mileage,
but wait though, Pedro.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, Pedro. But the mileage, we're accepting it because it had to make sense up front.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I don't accept that. I don't accept that. Like I don't accept. I even do it with Uber. If I, one time but it was like $20 and she wanted all this makeup and fake nails. And I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I took it and it was still sufficient. So for me, if I know that this person, and that's where you're talking about the education comes in. I think both of you guys mentioned it, of your Dasher is shopping for you. But see, that DoorDash does not do that. So I understand, UDM, what you're saying about what the issue should be with the company, because DoorDash straight lies and they act like CVS prepares it. They don't. They don't tell the customer that your Dasher is shopping for you. They don't do that. Okay. So if I know that this person is shopping like the ship lady, I think it was Instacart. So I know she has to go shop. I know there's going to be missing items. I know she has to do that stuff. So I compensated her fairly for that. So that's an order. If I take it and then I see it's a bunch of items and I didn't like what I saw compensation wise, it's gone. And I keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So for me, if the customer knew, hey, your customer has to shop and you're ordering 10, this is what I think should happen. I think that DoorDash should say UDM. UDM is a top whatever Dasher. He does this, that, and this very well.
So take that back. Take that back. Take that back.
Well, okay. UDM is UDM, and I think that we should have tier list. Like, and I know it probably might be a little discriminatory, so they might not do that. But okay, this person has a 5-star rating. He does very well, very thorough. Consider, maybe kind of upping your tip or whatever, because you're getting this type of service from this type of guy. But for me, it's hard to tell. So if I get an order that I liked at first and then I found out it was so much work, I just let it go. Okay. I'll let it go. Yeah.
Pedro, I had cut you off, but I was actually, and Derek jumped in, but, I wanted to ask. I don't know if you heard what I asked you. Did you?
Go ahead. No, repeat it.
Well, when you were talking about, see, I lost my train of thought. It's Derek's
See,
fault.
I jumped in. I ain't jumping in. Get up out of here, man. Go ahead.
It's Derek's fault. But
It's my fault.
when you chimed in, Pedro, you forgot what you said.
Yeah, what I was saying was we look at mileage as drivers. We're looking at mileage because that's our profitability, right?
Oh,
we base
right.
a lot off mileage.
Right, but I said, what if, well, that dasher accepts or anyone accepts on any platform an order that is worth their time. So if it's based on mileage, they accepted it already because it was worth their time.
Yeah.
So what's your response to that?
I mean, if it's worth your, we got to look at mileage, but you're looking at time, merchant, how long you got to wait, how long it takes you. I did a Petco yesterday, $19.50, 3 miles, 11 items, Petco. I jumped right on it. And I knew, okay, I'm going to knock this out. It's going to take me 30 minutes, right? It's going to take me 5 minutes to get there, probably 20 minutes to shop it, another so many minutes to drive because it's only 3 miles. $19.50 for 30 minutes worth of work. I'll do that every day of the week. That's good profitability for me. Low miles. I don't mind shopping. I don't mind using my red card, right? And
Okay.
it was a couple pet foods, like super easy, right? And they tipped me $10, and it was $9.50 base pay from DoorDash because base pay goes up when you have to shop for items. It just does. It's not $2.25. It was $9.50. So I'll do that all day. I mean, that's if that order came in at 10 miles, I probably would have rejected it because then I'm adding, especially if it's 10 miles going north, I don't want to be in that area because there's no good area. I got to drive all the way back. There's a lot of factors. I know what we do is really easy, but I try to break it down because I look at directions. Where's it going to leave me? I look at a lot of things because time is money. I try to, I look at miles, but I'm also looking how fast can I complete this to where I can get to the next order quickly. Right. But yeah, I mean, I think the shopping thing, I think most customers are not informed. A lot of people order from Amazon, whatever, right? And they think we're getting paid differently from the apps.
Yeah.
So they don't look at certain orders that they should be tipped. You don't tip your Amazon driver. You don't tip the UPS guy. You don't tip the mailman. I think a lot of the consumer.
You do tip the mailman. You do.
Well, I've never tipped the mailman before.
Yeah, but you tip the mailman. You don't tip the mailman, but you do tip the mailman if you get what I'm saying. So I'm sorry. I
hear you. Some people get Christmas cards. I get it. I don't have that relationship with my mailman. I would venture to say most of us aren't tipping the mail.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's what I'm saying. So I think a lot of the consumer bases, they think we're making more than we are. Mm-hmm. So that goes to what you're saying, UDM. We got to put the pressure on the company. We got to get more than $1. Uber tried to send me $1.50. Yeah. Uber's base pay is actually lower than DoorDash most of the time. We don't talk about it, but it is. The Uber's base pay is super low, right? I mean, I've seen it low, and the consumer doesn't know what we really make. So I think that goes in, and they don't know if we're shopping, like Derek said. They don't know. They think that Petco order was, is coming from a Petco driver that might work at Petco, and they're making a livable wage per hour. They don't understand it's being dispatched and facilitated through Uber or DoorDash or Grubhub, whatever. They don't know that there's a third party company there, right? I see it all the time with bread company or Panera, right? It gets you order it on the Panera website. I show up with my DoorDash bag and they're like, what? Because Breadco and Panera used to use their own delivery drivers. Now they can't do it as much. They got to use a third party. Right. So a lot of it is miseducation from the consumer side, I think.
Okay. Well, I still feel the way that I feel about when an offer comes in. If I'm willing to take it, that is all I expect. I don't expect nothing less, nothing more. But if I get something more, I smile. Hey, thank you. But if I arrive at the customer's location, I don't give them a dirty look. I don't give them anything. I'm just getting my money and I'm pushing. I'm going to keep on pushing. Now, the thing is, again, I will say, I understand that tips are, we work for tips. I understand that. But it's just going back to no tip, no trip. A person that is pushing no tip, no trip would say, I'm not taking a $3 that probably has a $2 base pay and a $1 tip, and it's probably going 1 mile, right? But they would say, hey, it's $19 base pay and complain about a $4 tip. I don't understand it. I don't understand the logic. I'm about getting my money. And again, I don't care who pays me. If it's you, Pedro, okay, cool. If it's you, Derek, okay, cool. I don't care who pays me as long as I get my money. It's just the same thing as when a person in the music industry, they show up to do a show. They go to the office, hey, where's my money? Before I do anything with my money. They don't care where the money's coming from. They want to see money in front of them. And that's the same mentality that I have. When an offer comes in, if the miles look right, the pay looks right, I'm taking it. End of story. So, again, the point of this roundtable was to at least have a discussion to hear different views from my end, from your end, Pedro, from your end, Derek. No Tip, No Trip been around for a little while. I want to say more than a year, right? So maybe the drivers that I've experienced with the No Tip, No Trip, those are the negative drivers. And Pedro, I understand what you're trying to do. Yours has a more positive spin on it, right? And
I'm trying to help people make more money. And I think if you're more selective and patient, and you're in a good market, you can make more money if you deliver to people that tip you. I think there's numbers that back that up.
That's smart business moves, in my opinion. Like, why would you work in an area where you're getting nothing but $2?
Yeah,
I would. You was gonna say something, UDM. Bring it back around, brother. You said his got a more positive. Come on, keep it rolling.
His got a more positive spin, and I'm not gonna say that I agree or disagree with what he's saying. It has a more positive spin compared to majority of the drivers that I've seen more than a year ago that have been pushing No Tip, No Trip. Because if you really want to go back to how far No Tip, No Trip really went back to, was that guy's name that got into the feud with Paid to Drive? I forgot his name. He had glasses. He was an older gentleman. He did Amazon Flex. I forgot his name. Somebody in the chat might know exactly who I'm talking about. But he started the whole No Tip, No Trip thing to my knowledge, right? Back then, and that feud with Paid to Drive, him and Paid to Drive, and then somehow I got in the mix. My name was mentioned. I was like, listen, I don't understand. Even back then, No Tip, No Trip. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? People were bashing me for doing Uber. All right, let me paint a little quick picture for y'all, right? When I was doing Uber Eats, I had to learn where to go versus a DoorDash driver, a Grubhub driver. Meaning, I had to know, okay, this area I'm going to deliver to, this area right here, they tip very well. Generally, they tip very well. So I'm taking this order, even if it's showing me $3, and I got to drive 8 miles. But by the end of it, I made a smart decision. I learned my market on that level, while Dashers, I wasn't on DoorDash yet. On Dashers were experiencing the full payout up front. Grubhub drivers were experiencing the full payout up front. I had to learn how to get my money before seeing that full payout up front. So that's another reason why I'm sticking to my guns over here. Like, listen, what I see is what I get. And that's all I'm going for, because where I came from was not seeing what I would finally get. You know what I'm saying? I now see, okay, the benefits in seeing my full payout. So when I see my full payout, and if it has something more on the back end, I'm like, cool, heck yeah. But if it shows me $10 going 5 miles, round trip, we know $2 a mile. Okay, round trip, that's going to be 10 miles, not just 5 miles. I'm like, okay, cool. But then I turned it around. If you looked at my content, right, I turned it around and I said, hey, it's gotten tough out here. It might not be as easy as it is for you, Pedro, or for you, Derek, with your high peak pay and your $40 tips. I got to tease you, Derek. I'm sorry. I don't know. I might not leave somebody $40, man. That's a whole tank for me. But all I'm saying is this, right? The whole thing is just when it comes down to it, no tip, no trip. There's some negativity that's pointed at the wrong people. But should customers tip? They should, especially if they want their food on time. I have tipped $10 on Grubhub, and I've still gotten my food cold.
Yep.
That's a bad experience for me. It's such a bad experience, I don't want to order on Grubhub. I order on the platform that I know I will get my food fast. Post-COVID, I ordered on Uber Eats. Why? Because Uber Eats is the fastest pickups in my market. I didn't order on DoorDash. There's nothing against DoorDash, but I just know Uber orders are ready to go. If it says 27 minutes on my phone, I'm going to get my food from time that it started to the time that I get it. I know it might be 27 minutes. On DoorDash, it might push back to 40. It might, but my food is still going to be decent. But Grubhub, I just don't order on Grubhub. And I'm not one to order that often. So I understand the point of tipping. But a customer like me, if I were to order often and I get repeated negative experiences, but this is the only app that I can order on, I am ready to give you a cash tip. But I'm not leaving you a whole bunch of money up front if I get a cold egg sandwich that I was supposed to get 2 hours ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not leaving you, even if I know it's not your fault. I'm still gonna leave you a decent tip because you're doing me that favor to get me my food. I could have left and got it myself, but I'm still gonna leave you a tip. But as far as I'm concerned, if a customer is having bad experiences, they're probably not gonna tip up front, which is part of the reason why we're seeing a bunch of lowball offers. And if they're not tipping if they're not tipping at all in the app, I don't feel like the driver should be focused on that customer because we don't know if that customer has a cash tip for us. Even if it's showing up front, I get it. But it's kind of like, hey, it's the platform's responsibility to make it enticing enough for drivers. It's not the customer's responsibility. I don't feel like it is. And that's where I feel like we should leave it. At the end of the day, it's kind of like we're going to agree to disagree. Me and you, Derek, I know what I just said is probably something you still don't agree with, but...
No, I actually do. I agree 100%, but that's
Okay.
something we're not going to see.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something I told you the whole time. I understood what you were trying to say, and I do agree with that because I've taken orders. Now, of course, I'm not gonna look at somebody, but I'm gonna be like, shame on you, absolutely shame on you. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm gonna feel like that because the principality is still the same. You didn't bring your butt out the house, so at the end of the day, you gotta throw me something. I'm gonna still take it and I'm gonna still spin it. All right, all that's gonna happen. But at the same time, it's like I agree with you 100%. I've taken orders that said 0. A lot of drive orders from DoorDash have no tip. No tip. Okay, so I completely understand. But the fight with the company is like something I don't think that they'll ever like. I want to direct it toward them. Be transparent. But why won't they, UDM? Because if they do, then nobody's gonna take these orders. We have to play this guessing game in order that's how DoorDash is sticking around. So, but we see what they get too. We get people who still, it's just so much, man, to me that, and I like what you said. This is like the never ending story. It's never going to end. People are going to be on one side of the fence and the other side of the fence. At the bottom end of the day, fellas, treat people like you want to be treated. That's all I'm saying. That's what this
I can
is
agree
about.
with that.
And that's it. That's what she got 40. It was Sunday. I knew how Meyer was going to be. I was feeling good. I threw her 40. You know what I'm saying? Was it too much? It might have been. But I know my Meyer. And I know on Sunday, you're going to be in the line out to the close. So I threw her 40. You know what I mean? But so just treat people like you want to be treated. That's the story.
And in my case, if I were to take a ride share, like say if I ended up going to a Miami Heat game, it was a rival game, and I'm trying to take an Uber or a Lyft out of that congestion, right? Or to take me home, I would understand. Yeah, I would definitely tip them handsomely because I didn't want to deal with that damn traffic, right? Cool, thank you. I just sit in the back and chill until you get me to my destination. I understand that, right? You understood that Meyer was crazy that day, so you tipped extra. Got you. Like if in my market, if I know there's a lot of stuff going on, or even if like say it's post hurricane, right? Post hurricane, and they're doing deliveries. Like for instance, I know y'all probably saw that Grubhub driver that was on that electric bike, just pushing his bike through the water, right?
Yeah.
Right. And people try to donate to that guy. I don't know if they found him or not, but they were trying to donate to him. Seeing something like that, that's next level. You delivering in this flood? No, I got you, bro. You need to get a new bike. That bike probably shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I got you. I'm a donate, as much as I can, without breaking the bank. I get it. But that's only if you know. So if everything is normal, a normal day, normal routine, normal traffic, normal everything, I feel like, we can't really direct it at the customer because they're already placing the order and that's how we get that offer. If DoorDash or Uber Eats or Grubhub shows us $15, but the customer only tipped me $1, I'm not tripping on the customer. If it's going 2 miles, if it's going 15 miles, I'm still not tripping on the customer because I accepted it. I'm not tripping on them because $15, I need them $15. What am I willing to sacrifice for them $15? I'm gonna burn my gas, but I'm not going to go all the way back home 15 miles empty-handed. That's where I came up with the turn trash to gold. Because a lot of drivers, generally speaking, not in every market, but a lot of drivers need to do the trash to gold concept or the trash to gold method because they are not getting decent offers to that level that they can make their money and go home. They have to take some offers that we might not take. And that's all it is, man. I feel like no tip, no trip is causing some drivers to look at things the wrong way and point their finger at the customer, when if it wasn't for that customer, that we wouldn't get that offer in the first place. Even if that offer on that Uber Eats order was $2, I believe, it was a $2 offer. Okay, I get it. But why you had to direct your negative energy towards the customer just because they didn't tip?
I got you.
You don't have to do that. Just decline it and keep it moving. But it's causing drivers to target the wrong people. Even if, yes, we do have standards. Yes, you should tip. Yes, if you want your food hot, you should tip. Yes, we're busting our behinds out here. We're doing you a favor. You should tip. Yes. But if you don't tip, you're going to just get cold food. I'm not moving until somebody pays me to do your order. You know what I'm saying? And that's
because you didn't get off your couch to get it yourself.
Yeah, and
that's it.
That's just how I look at it. It's again, I got bashed. Listen. People talk trash to me in the comment section of my Uber Eats video. Some of the comments I had to remove. I'm like, geez. Yeah. Just because I'm doing Uber Eats and it's showing me $3, but what they don't know is at the end of the video, I'm gonna show y'all the final pay. And the final pay is different than what you saw on the screen. I had to learn how to make that work for me, and I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still applying the same strategies with now seeing the full payout up front. So do your thing. I like the positive spin on no tip, no trip compared to what I know about no tip, no trip from the past. This was pre-pandemic, and I'm like, hey, I'm not against it, and I'm not. You don't have to do what I say do. I'm just saying, like, I just wanted to have a conversation with you, Pedro, and the tip god.
You know what? Let me say this real quick, because y'all listen. Y'all talk about me, right? Okay, but this is how I work. When I landed in LAX, okay, I made a video. It was $70 to get from the airport to my Airbnb. $70 to go 4.9 miles. You know what I said? Because that was without the tip. So I said, I gotta tip my mans. All right. So I took my behind, drugged my luggage, burnt the wheel off that boy, and walked a mile. Okay. Then I tweaked my back. All right. I was dripping with sweat, and I said, let me pull up this Uber app. So I pulled up the Uber app. It was $9. I said, that's what I'm talking about. But I got out and I'm telling you, bro, my back still ain't recovered. It's a real story. It was $6, but I knew it was going to cost me $100 and my budget was like $3. I was like, I can't have that much fun. So,
I would have done the same thing, man.
Bro, I drugged that bag and I started walking and I kept checking. I saw a tent. There was a dude following me. I was nervous. I was scared. I thought it was the end. Okay. I kept walking. And when I got to Del Taco, it started raining and I pulled up and it was $9. And my man, I was so thankful. I said, thank you, bro. I threw him another 10 and he was super thankful. So my thing is, I even follow my own kind of rule. Okay. If I can't do it, then I'm not going, if I couldn't tip my man, cause it would have cost me $100 at least. So I'm like, I got to get to walking. So I got to walking and then I got to sitting. So I'm not just that, I try to live by my own advice, even though, I might deliver it I don't deliver it as positive as Mr. Pedro over here.
No, I hear you. And you know what though, UDM, I don't know. I'm new to this space.
Okay.
I'm kind of new to YouTube. I've only been doing this full time since this year, or this January. So the no tip, no trip, I knew it was a thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, I'm not in like Facebook groups or Reddit groups to understand like what was really happening or how it started. So for me, when I say it, it's more like, it's like no tip, no trip 2.0 for me. Because I'm just trying to show people, be selective. Yeah. Be patient. Yeah. Like I use a peak pay example all the time. If I got a $3 peak pay, and let's say I got a $3 base pay, if I see a $6 order, I still never take that. Because if I'm selective, I'm going to wait for the $9 or $10 order. Why would I waste my time on a $6 order when at 6 p.m. on a Friday when I know I'm going to get one that's more? So my philosophy is just like, know your value, understand, make as much as you can within that hour or that 5-hour shift. And the more overall, at the end of the week, the more deliveries you do to non-tipping customers, you will make less money. Yeah. You will make less money. And the more deliveries you do to people that tip you, you will make more money. So for me, we're out here to make $1. I want you to make as much as you can. If it's an extra $50 a week because you thought about that, absolutely. That's a $50 is $50. Yeah. So for me, the no tip, no trip, I didn't understand how the OGs talked about it. For me, it's like 2.0. Like this is my version of it because my market's good and I'm going to be selective and I'm not going to waste my time on somebody that doesn't value my time.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I do feel the exact same way that you feel about it, about the whole the order in itself. But like I've said already, if I get I've gotten a $19 offer that had 0 tip, and the reason why it had 0 tip is because the customer did not want to tip up front, because they had a bad experience. But me calling the customer and letting them know, hey, the order is going to take an additional hour. They were upset. It was a Buffalo Wild Wings Uber Eats order. That customer, and what they showed me was $19. I'll never forget it. The fact that I decided to wait at the restaurant, they ended up tipping me $30 in cash. I had a decent size order that I had to pick up for Uber. But at the same time, it's like they didn't tip up front, again, because of a bad experience they had. And on that order, they were thinking about canceling it because they were waiting on the order for, I think, about 2 hours, which is why it ended up being $19, no tip, because Uber was trying to get someone to do this order. But this was when, like, say, a little bit after the market opened up when COVID first hit. So there weren't much staff to help out with all the orders that were coming in. People they just opened up the market. People had flooded the lobby. They were like, man, we got to get out the house. So imagine there's not enough staff. The wait is extreme, right, for online orders. And they have to take care of everybody inside of the restaurant as well. So I was like, listen, $19, I'm right down the street from home. I am not going to let this go. So I try to butter up the customer like, hey, listen, I don't mind waiting this $19. You know what I'm saying? I buttered them up to the point where $19 from Uber and a $30 cash tip. They gave me $30 because it was like, man, I've been waiting on this for how long, man? And you know what? I appreciate you, Derek, right? I appreciate you for waiting a little bit extra for me, you know, and getting that food. It was hot, so thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they told me thank you. So I understand the appreciation. They gave me $30. So it ended up being $49. And I was right down the street. That was like, I think about three miles. $49 for 3 miles. That was a dog?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. But I accepted it because it was 19. I didn't know who tipped or who didn't tip until I called the customer. And I dealt with the customer up front. They didn't tip me in the app. That was all Uber. I was so surprised. $19? I was tripping. But
I would have took that too, bro. So just so you know.
Would you have taken it, Pedro and Lil Pedro?
Yeah, I know. I had a $17 Uber once that was like, and it was they waited forever, and I took it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about Lil? Well, okay, you got a baby girl, so I can't call her Pedro. All right, so.
Ruby says no tip, no trip all day because we got diapers and pampers to pay for, and we need that Similac, and so no tip, no trip all day long.
Right.
He's on that team. I'm saying.
All right. Well, I appreciate both of y'all for having this conversation with me, Pedro. Thank you for breaking it down the way that you did, man. I'm still gonna do things my way, and I have a better understanding, so I'm gonna leave you alone now. Okay. Derek,
hey, you got my direct line, man. We can always chop it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said before, you're an OG in this space. I'm still learning. Nobody knows. You got to know your market, right? And you got to know what works for you. And at the end of the day, if we're all making our money, it's all good. So.
Yep.
All right. And Derek, man, I'm not gonna tip somebody $40. I don't know. I don't have money like that, man. Plus you just said you started your car from your office right now. So I'm like, wait, what kind of car you got, bro? I don't know. That car sounded mean, bro, So I don't know. So I'm just saying, you might have it, you know what I'm saying? You DoorDash dad, man. Well, by the way, I heard the name is going to be changing soon, right?
Yeah.
I read something on the community tab. Okay. You want to give us a little bit of a sneak peek what that name going to begin with? Really? Really?
and it won't have dad, father, or DoorDash in the name. That's all you get.
Well, I appreciate both of y'all for having this roundtable discussion with me, and both of y'all for standing your ground as well, because that's what I want. I want people that will accept my challenge and listen. If you believe in something, you stick to it, and in the end, if we still agree to disagree, then cool. I'm cool with both of you guys. I will admit though, after I got out of the hospital, I just stopped contacting people. It was like I was just trying to get myself back together. Just trying to focus. And but now I'm getting back into the routine of things, which is another reason why I contacted you, Derek. A lot of people were looking forward to the Econ brothers. The Econ brothers, man, I don't know. I really don't at this point. I feel like, there's so many things I want to work on. And I know you're working on your other channel. You're doing your thing. And I feel like our schedules are a little bit conflicted. So it's kind of like, when are we going to be able to do it? Are we going to be able to do it? Dang, we can't do it today. We can't do it next week. We can't. Oh, man, when can we do it? If we had more availability, especially now since I'm trying to do many other things post Rona, I'm like, you know what? The Econ brothers, I know people loved it, but it's kind of like right now it's on the back burner. It's not completely gone, but I just don't know.
I got you. Yeah, we talked. I know.
Yeah. So I just wanted to honestly say it publicly as well, because I didn't really have an answer for people. And I at least I still don't have an answer for I still don't have an answer. But at least
if we get time and it lines up, we'll do it. That's how we can do that.
Yeah.
It ain't dead, but it's just we got things going on.
A lot of, yeah. Including you with many other channels. So
yes, absolutely. And more in the May. A whole new world, karaoke coming soon. Everything's coming. If I want to do it, I'm doing it.
Listen,
doing it.
when you drop that, I was like, "What's going on here?" And then I heard the vocals. I'm like,
You heard the vocals, bro?
He ain't that bad. I'm like, all right. I had to listen to the whole video because that's my track now. I'm like, all right, is he on something?
You know what?
UDM said, "So you a singer now?"
I was waiting for you to come out the end of the video, like, you know, like wearing some like silk suit or something like that, and some glasses, you know, like
with little Peebo Bryson. Oh man, yeah, that's just where we at, man. We try to have some fun, man.
Yeah, I did send him a message. I was like, hey, you know, so you're a singer now, you know. I see where we going. I see where we going with this, you know. Okay, you know, because he didn't post a video in a while. He was doing his football content, and then all of a sudden I get a notification, DoorDash Dad. Okay, let me check this out.
A whole new world.
A whole new world.
Who was the woman though? Who's the lady?
Somebody from Shmuel, man, the karaoke website. So
I thought that was a wife. I'm like, we got a duo here. What's going on?
No. Don't tell my wife is no.
Yeah. But guys, you know, thank you all.
Appreciate you.
Thank you both for joining.
Oh man.
You know, if we're gonna have another roundtable, it's probably not gonna be about tipping. It might be about something else. I don't know. You know, whenever these roundtables are so random that, you know, there's not something to talk about or not something that I feel like we're gonna disagree on, because majority of us creators kind of look at things the same way. I don't want to say majority. Let me take that back. A lot of us, or us three, I don't believe that we look at things differently as far as when we're going out there to work. It was just this main thing I wanted to talk about, and you know, we talked about it, and we're good to go. So anything else that you want to say, each of you want to say to the audience? We had I think about 125 people up in here that were watching. So anything y'all want to say before we end?
I'll say one thing real quick, then Derek can close it out. I do have a big, I got a debate coming. There's a guy that made a video, like no tip. He doesn't believe in tipping at all. Like, you know, real passionate video he made. He's going to be coming on my channel in the next 10 days or so. We're going to do a debate, tipping versus not tipping. It'll be very different than this because it's, you know, he's like on the other end. Like, he never tips. He doesn't believe in it. And he has some decent reasons as to why, I think. So I invited him on. We're going to do a little debate deal probably on a Sunday night before I go live. That's going to be fun, so look out for that. I'm really excited about that. But appreciate you having me. Man, listen, y'all don't understand. Like, you two, I look up to y'all a lot, and I've told you guys that in private and online. So to be on the show, thank you. It's very humbling that you got me on here, man. Like, you guys were some of the two first people I watched when I came to YouTube. So I appreciate you having me on. And anytime you guys, either y'all need something, man, you know I'm a phone call away. And if I can support, I'll support. So.
All right, awesome. Your turn, Derek.
I just want to say that I got no beef with these gentlemen. Let's not even put that out there, okay? The second thing is DoorDash Dad is going through some changes. Just got kind of tired of the same thing, so expect a name change coming soon. Just waiting on the logo to be finished, and I think some of y'all going to be offended, but some of y'all might not be. It's going to be a more raw. I can't get too much more raw, but it's going to be even more raw than a little more production value. You know, I just kind of got out the mood because DoorDash should do that to you. But outside of that, man, the live streams will be coming back. I'm just really busy with my other channels, you know, and then I got a karaoke one on the way as well. So, but yeah, I appreciate these guys, man, and all you do for the community, keeping things positive in dark times, man, because that's what this is. You know, people trying to do this full time, and it's tough. It's tough. You got to have a lot of avenues. So I appreciate UDM. I appreciate Pedro always keeping stuff positive, man, and UDM with the relentless multiple apps. I've signed up for so many that you've mentioned, you know, the latest one being Draver. So I appreciate y'all, man, and also this community as well. So you guys, yeah, be safe, man. Take care of yourself and each other.
All right. So, guys, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. All right. All right. So, family, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. It was definitely a great conversation between us three. I like their points. I hope they heard mine. I did not do this roundtable for you to choose a side, but for you to at least hear different opinions on the same exact topic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's definitely important for us as creators, influencers, to have these conversations publicly, so we can, help you make better decisions out in the public, right? Now, yesterday, I believe it was yesterday on a phone call, somebody mentioned about taking $1.50, right? They would take $1.50 order if it's going around the corner, but I wouldn't take $1.50. I get those add-ons on Uber all the time, but I'm not taking $1.50. Whoever decided to take $1.50, I'm not going to look at you differently because you're choosing to take that $1.50 for your own reasons. And you're not going to force me or make me feel like I need to take $1.50 because of your reasons why you take $1.50. And I'm not saying that's what this caller did, right? They weren't trying to force me to do it, but they have their reasons and I have mine. I'm not going to take one, but if you decide to do that, then that's on you. Awesome. You do your whatever your reasons are, that's on you. But in the end, it was a great conversation. I enjoyed it very much. I hope you did. To show all three of us support, just squeeze the life out of that like button. And if you're watching on the replay, just hit the comment section and let us know how you feel. All right. I'm pretty sure these gentlemen are going to be watching and, so on and so forth. All right. So with that said, family, at this time, I want to give a few shout outs to the people that were in here. If you want a shout out, feel free to just say what's up in the chat so I can say what's up back to you. All right. We're going to get this thing going. Say what's up in the chat so I can say what's up back to you. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I hope you enjoyed this roundtable. I did. What's up, Briggs? What's up, Ryan Alter? Dominique Ashley. What's up, DoorDash Dad? Dashing Grandpa. Nico. What's up? Gig Lebowski. How you doing? Dan Low Fat, shout out to you. Juice Neros, shout out to you. Kim Side Money Plans. Bud Soda, shout out to y'all. Roy Will Be Toxic, shout out to you. Takeem Hilton. Ted Cheney, what's up? What's up? What's up? Thank y'all for joining us. Mace 10 Chew, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's almost time for dinner rush. Well, actually, it's almost time for some of y'all. You're approaching dinner rush. I know right now it's 5:16. I did not expect this conversation to last as long as it did, but shout out to every last one of y'all that were able to tune in live. Shout out to all y'all that are going to be tuning in after the fact. And Nito209, shout out to you as well, brother. And y'all be safe. And thanks for tuning in again.